Hello. So, for the career personality profiler quiz, for my work style, my biggest quadrant was humanitarian, which is driven to make the world a better place, creative and imaginative, and coming up with insightful solutions to meaningful problems. And that number for that was I believe a 69. Pop up. Yeah, it was a 69. And then a close second quadrant was caretaker, which was a 53. And it wants to be of services to others, prefers to work within established institutions to find ways to maintain stability and security. And my lowest one for that was the pragmatist, and I believe that was a 31. And but these results were something I already knew because I kind of have an idea what I want to do with my life. As far as like the position I'm pursuing, I want to pursue a career in social work, working with child protective services. I kind of this. I know I want to do this for a little part of my life, or because I like change. I like mixing things up. So I want to pursue this career for maybe a few years and then see if I can move up within the field and get like a manager, a higher position. My ultimate goal is to be a director of social services, but I'll see with especially the reason I'm getting a degree in human services and doing social work is because social work would be limiting myself. So that way, if I'm doing social work and it's something I decide I want to change and do, I have a human services degree that can do that's more broad than a social work degree would be. My strengths and weaknesses that I recognize as far as my strengths go, I'm good at giving advice and I can communicate what needs to be done in a group setting. I usually just take charge just because I like a weakness is I like things done a certain way because I guess a strength and a weakness would be I'm a control freak because I guess it can have its strengths and then the weakness and it has its weaknesses too. Just because if things aren't done a certain way, I'll redo it. Especially if I have people doing things for me. This past summer, I held a manager position, and it made me realize a lot of different things about when you're in charge, and everything is your say so. You learn a lot about yourself, and I think that's what's helped me grow a lot within the past few months. Another one of my weaknesses is I'm selfish. I know I can be selfish. And I also do things in the moment. So I can be selfish in the moment, or I'll react a certain way in the moment, or I get heated really quick, like really fast, and I'll react a certain way, and then an hour later I'll realize I shouldn't have reacted like that, and I'll always go back and I'll apologize or I'll try to correct my mistakes. Usually it's never too big. I can't fix them, but it can get to the point where my reaction can have a long-term effect that wouldn't be good for me. So that's something that I've been trying to work on. And another thing that I'm not very good at is I'm good at reading other people's thoughts and communicating with others, but I'm not good at reflecting my own feelings. I do not actually at all communicate my feelings, which is something I've been trying to work on, that just, trying to let myself know it's okay to let others know how I feel about things. So, things I've considered for future employment, I've considered counseling just because I've wanted to coach volleyball and I thought about counseling and doing it in a school. I've considered real estate. I've considered physical therapy. Just being 20 and at a young age, it's hard to choose one thing and just say, this is what I'm doing the rest of my life. So it's hard to choose one thing, and I think it's good to have your options open. I've changed my major twice. So I think what I'm doing now is what I want to do. Advice from my parents and my family members and my friends that have helped me or like influenced me to be in the human services field or just decide what I want to do is my parents have always told me to do what makes me happy. And also my mom is a social worker, and all of her friends, because of work, are in social work. So I think that's had a bit, it actually, no, I know it's had a big influence on what I've wanted to do. And my relatives and my friends always, I like to surround myself with positive people. So they always just tell me, I can do what I set my mind to. So if I believe one day I want to be director of social services, or I want to make a business or make a program for women, which is something else I've considered, then I know I can do that if I set my mind to it. So as far as volunteer experience and stuff that I've done in the human services field, I've job shadowed at Department of Social Services with Child Protective Services, and I absolutely loved it. That's actually what made me set on, like, this is what I want to do, like, made me for sure this is what I decided to do, because I was going back and forth with everything, and I absolutely loved it. I also, one of my friend's mothers, she is a director of social services, so I also job shadowed her as well, and ended up loving that, just because I wanted to see what my ultimate goal was like, so I can make sure all these little things that I'm doing will add up to, it's worth the end goal for me. And as far as graduate preparation, what I'm wanting to do is it's not necessarily required, but I like learning and like expanding, things about myself. So I'm interested. I want to do grad school, just because I've always wanted, my master's, and then eventually I want to get my doctorate, just because that's something like just a goal I've always wanted for myself. As far as where I would go, colleges and universities I could attend grad school, I've been from this area my whole life. I'm from Bristol, my house is only like 40 minutes from here. And so I just want to apply to schools that are further away. I've always wanted to go to the beach or the ocean, so just schools that are further away, and then seeing just who will give me the most money and most aid. I'll apply here as well at ETSU and see, and if they're the ones that will give me the most money, then I'll probably end up staying here. It's just whatever is best for myself, for as far as money, and then also what I want to do. So, and as far as the profiler goes, my career interests were creating was a 6, helping was a 76, persuading was 100, and then organizing, building, and thinking were all 0s. So like I said, this profiler test really wasn't no surprise to me. Like I said, like I kind of know, I have a decent idea of myself and kind of what I want to do. So I believe that is all.